So today we're at the Frankfurt Book Fair 2024. How are you, Toby?
I'm very well, James.
Excellent.
Very glad to be here.
Excellent. So I guess I would like to find out, how's the overall experience in the fair so far?
It's been super fantastic.
Oh yeah?
I've never been to the Frankfurt Book Fair before. This is my first time. We used to live in Germany many years ago. We served in Bonn, so I'm familiar with Frankfurt. We'd go to the PX to buy groceries once a month, that kind of thing. And we would go skiing sometimes in Austria, but we'd come through.
That's down south. That's 400, 500 kilometers south from where we are. But okay, well, describe to me how you feel about Frankfurt compared to the other events.
It's a lot more fun because there's a lot more people. Many people came to look at my book and have me sign it personally for them, so it was exciting.
Awesome.
There were kids, there were adults, there were old people, there were young, everybody.
Yeah,
you know?
I noticed, and I felt that there were some of the ones that you spoke with, they stayed a while.
Yeah.
Was there anything that stood out for you? That
they like books that touch them, that catch their emotions.
Fantastic.
You know. And they said and I said, well, perfect. That's the kind of book that I wanted to write. I wanted to write a book that would touch people's imaginations and help them. You know.
Well, speaking of the book is called The Ever Part of Always. Now, this is a perfect time for us to just tell people who hasn't been to the show or hasn't even got a chance to see the book yet. Can you tell us a little bit about this book?
Yes. This is the story of a 10-year-old little girl named Keely. And this is her first adventure, by the way. I'm in the middle of the sequel. We'll see how long it takes.
Watch out.
Yeah, watch out. It may take 30 years to get there. It's a story about a little girl who lives in Appalachia. In the United States, Appalachia is known to be poor and, not a nice area, and they don't have good education, and they have poor services for the people. I was born there.
I see.
That's the thing. I know this area because I was born there, and so to put the setting there for the story was helpful. And one of the most important influences in the story is the grandmother.
I see.
My grandmother took care of me most of it, often. Keely is 10, and she just has a pretty rough time because she doesn't speak as quickly as she should. She doesn't add as quickly as she should. She has a different pace.
Yeah.
And her father, the only job he could get was to be a salesman. So he's on the road all the time. That's what a salesman does, because he has to work to feed his family. So there is that distance or the gap between the daughter. Yeah, but there is also one huge obstacle in the neighborhood.
Sure.
Daryl.
The bully.
The bully. And all of us have had a bully in our lives, haven't you?
Right.
You know?
I could remember mine when I was growing up.
Yeah, and it's not fun. And the bully lived basically next door.
Neighbors.
Yeah. So, every time Keely went outside, Daryl was there. Yeah. Yelling at her and calling her a Dumbo and other.
I've read that part.
Other.
Because it's in the early parts of the book.
Other things.
Yeah.
And so her mother just says, ignore him. He's just a bully, but he would make Keely feel really bad. But her grandmother told her, just swallow those words. Hide the bad things, swallow them until they're deep in your stomach, and you won't feel them anymore. So Keely, when she was being bullied, that's what she tried to do. She'd swallow and try to get rid of.
She kept it inside.
Yeah, kept it inside. And so.
That is tough.
Yeah, it is tough. And then Keely had this special kind of sense. We call it, have you ever heard of, you have an inkling of something that's going to happen, something that's going to come?
In the younger generations, they call it the spider sense. Inkling
Spidey.
sense is there in there. We get
a spidey sense, inkle sense. And Keely's grandmother tells her that don't worry about these feelings that you have, that when you're 12, your inkle sense will totally awaken. And when it does, wow, you will not believe what you see and feel and what this universe holds for you in particular.
Right.
But I will be here right by your side to help you with it, to help you understand what's happening and what you feel. But guess what? Keely's grandmother dies. And so then Keely is left with just a mourning sense, that she's really, really sad. Keely goes to the reading of the will.
Yeah.
And so the will is in Abercrombie and Fitch. And, what a name for a law firm,
Yeah.
And Keely wants to attend and listen to the will. And so she stands on the cowboy boots of her Uncle Don.
Right.
So she's standing on his boots, and he says, just lean against me. So she leaned against him, and she fell asleep, and her uncle just lets her, just kind of holds her, embraces her.
That's a good picture. I could imagine that.
And then all of a sudden, and to Keely, I leave my horse Mariah. And everybody, Keely's eyes flew open, and me? What? And she says, I leave you Mariah, that horse that you all thought was dead. Uncle Don takes Maggie over to the stable and introduces her to
Mariah.
And so to the horse. Keely opens her eyes and can't believe what she sees. She sees this Appaloosa mare that's basically the coat is silver white and kind of glows, and Keely starts going over to learn how to take care of Mariah, and her uncle is there for a few visits, and she learns to brush her and comb her mane and walk her because she's kind of too old to be ridden around.
Right.
And then Keely's imagination is, a wonderful thing, and so she tells her friends that Mariah at school and stuff. She talks about this beautiful horse.
So this is the unraveling of then the adventure of Keely with Mariah.
Right.
Right. Now, I know that
the most important thing that Mariah tells Keely is that she's going to have a baby.
I remember this. Okay,
right,
yes,
that she's going to have a foal.
And that's why she's feeling a little ill.
Yeah.
Because she was.
But, and so Keely says, guess what? She's going to have a baby.
Mm-hmm.
And her Uncle Don says, well, I don't believe this is going to happen. We'll call the the veterinarian, to come over and check her out. Because, so the vet comes over, and his name is Dr. Wright, with a W.
Okay.
And so he gives Mariah
check.
going over and a check, and says, I'm very worried. This is, sorry to tell you boys, sorry to disappoint, but Mariah is not pregnant. That's a tumor that's growing inside of her. And so you better let me put her to sleep.
Right.
So that she won't suffer anymore, as she gets bigger. Keely yells at the vet
Yeah.
And, you know, she loses her temper a bit.
She knows.
You know, and she shouldn't have yelled at him. So she, no, you're wrong. You're Dr. Wrong, not Dr. Right. And so Keely's mother hears her yakking off on this, and so you're grounded.
Right.
You know, you don't talk to any adult like that. That's, you know, your manners.
Sure.
And so she says that Keely has to stay in her room for a whole month. She can go to school, but no more going to the stables.
Uh-huh.
And so Keely storms off to her bedroom, and her bedroom is the only place in the world that is kind of a peaceful place.
As we all are.
Yeah, you know,
When we are feeling distressed as kids.
You go in a corner or somewhere where you feel safe.
Right.
And so Keely feels safe in her bedroom, and that's where, if you look at the book, on the back of this copy, I have the description of her bedroom.
I see. Okay. Ah, I didn't notice that, but okay. Indeed. All right. Well,
And
I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but okay.
it says, I have here, Keely pressed her hands over her ears, squeezed her eyes shut, and concentrated on sliding the bad words that Daryl and her mother had spoken deep into her stomach to let them be there. The Keely's bedroom was her refuge. I lost it. Peeling pink paint blisters were layered with various sized brown grocery bags from Piggly Wiggly, glued on the floor, on the wall. And then, I won't read it, but anyway, and then basically Keely took her hand like this. She colored each finger a different color with a marker pen, and she would make a rainbow arc with her finger, with her fingers, and then she'd put a head on it, and so it was, and she had these rainbows all over her bedroom on the paper sacks from the grocery store. And so this is where she felt safe. She went to see Mariah at the end of 1 month.
Right.
And that's where her adventure begins.
I see. Now this is a good backdrop for everyone who's looking to find books on building confidence, right?
Right.
Also using your imagination. And well, I guess there's a lot of lessons we can learn from Keely and her first adventure. What I would like to know is, what are the key takeaways that you would impart, that you would really, at least have the readers get out of the book?
To trust yourself.
I think that's the inkling sense that you want us to, or that you want people to really trust their gut.
But yes.
Is that separate?
That's separate. I mean, you could that's believe in yourself. That's part of it. But to believe in yourself that you can do it.
Yeah.
You know, you can, like, Keely goes off on this adventure with her two friends, and her two friends are a huge calico-colored cat named Meowcher, and a Dalmatian, long-haired Dalmatian with spots, not your typical dachshund either, a long-haired dachshund, and its name is Growler. And so you got Growler and Meowcher, and the horse is Mariah. But Keely and Meowcher and Growler go off on this adventure, and they have to find a potion as somebody is really, really sick. I won't tell you who's sick, but you'll figure it out real soon. And she has to gather all kinds of things for this potion, and capture clouds, because the clouds, pieces of clouds, she has to wrap around herself, and the clouds help her to fly.
Interesting.
You know, and so
Interesting.
so she and she has to get things like cinnamon sticks, you know, the not pussy willows. Okay, I can't remember the name.
That's all right.
Cattails.
Oh, cattails. Okay.
Cattails. And,
Cattails, yeah.
and she has to find a red cattail, you know, all of these specific things. So Keely and Meowcher and Growler are hunting for these things that they need before they're ready to go on a trip to the ever part of always.
This is one of the adventures that they're having.
It's one of the adventures.
Yeah, excellent.
And so,
Right. Now, I would like to know a little bit about the journey towards the writing of this.
Okay.
I know that you told me a little bit about, which I felt was very inspiring in a sense. So I would like you to also get the readers involved into how the journey was like.
okay.
For writing. What was it like for you?
Okay, I had the idea for this book probably over 30 years ago, or even longer ago. When I was a kid, like 10 years old, I used to do a lot of writing. 10 years old, 15 years old, 20. I used to write stories all of the time. And so this is where where ideas formed in my mind about different stories.
Yeah.
Some about unicorns, some about different animals, some, just interesting stories that would come to me. And people ask me, where did I get the title? The Ever Part of Always.
This is a well done title, I think.
I love the title. And I have to tell you about that because if you think about it, it's the ever part of always. Well, then what does that mean?
Yeah.
It means forever.
Right.
You know, but the forever part, no, you're not going to say that. But I love to write in lyrical language.
Yeah.
And so the title itself is, to me, lyrical. And
very lyrical, yes.
And but anyway, when I came up with the ever part of always, I've been married to my husband for 57 years.
Wow.
Forever. and I wrote him a poem after I think it was for our 20th wedding anniversary, or maybe it was the 10th, I'm not sure. But anyway, and I told him that I would love him till the ever part of always.
Nice one, Bob.
and I have, and so that's where it kind of started. And
that's incredible. That is so sweet.
Yeah, and we have lived in over 30 countries, and everywhere, I write, I do these imagination,
right.
And I teach and things like that. But so that's where the story started. And the name started for the book.
I see. I might borrow that when I try to talk to my wife, or maybe on our anniversary.
Please
and
do.
I'll let you know when I did. I want her what she thinks on it. But my question then would be, what were the challenges in the writing process, or were there any moments of? I know you call that a writer's block, but was there any of those moments?
Yes, okay. What I do with writer's block is I don't experience, most authors write out an outline,
Right.
It's the beginning, middle, end, and you just go through your story. I don't write like that.
Oh yeah?
No, I put music on to calm my mind and just get me relaxed.
Interesting.
And the kind of music I play is important.
I was about to ask.
Yeah. If I put the Beatles on, which I really, really like the Beatles music, or Sting, or
really,
what's his name?
You ever put on AC/DC on or something?
Yeah,
like that?
no, it's Queen.
Queen is good. I
Yeah,
know.
okay. All of those I like a lot. But the problem is, I like the lyrics.
Yes.
So after the boom, I start singing the words. When I start singing the words, I am not writing any longer.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm thinking about the song.
Sure.
And so I put on Inya,
Kenya.
which is just this melodious,
yeah.
scream,
Okay.
blah, blah, blah. And that relaxes me. And some
Melody all together. No lyrics.
the melody is
Yeah.
it's
Mellow.
relaxing, and it also is inspiring to me. And
I can imagine that.
And so
Okay.
then I start writing, and it just comes. I know what's going to happen next.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
like that, and it's been exciting because when I start, I'm not sure where it's going.
That is fun. All right, hello everyone. We are here at the Frankfurt International Book Fair 2024, and we have our featured author, Miss Toby K. Davis.
Hello.
And we have the book called The Ever Part of Always. Toby, can you give us just a little bit of a background of the book?
Yeah, this story is about a 10-year-old girl born in Appalachia in the United States,
Right.
and she has a tough time, but she has a grandmother that believes in her and magical powers, and she takes an adventure to the ever part of always. I invite you to join Keely on her adventure. Please check us out.
You can get the book anywhere you could get it from. You could go Amazon, barnesandnoble.com, or you could even visit us on her website called tobykdavisbooks.com. That's tobykdavisbooks.com. And we'll look forward to serving you with this incredible adventure.
Thank you so much.
See you around.